And what's going on, guys? I'm Minicall here, coming at you with the Dark Dimension 3 Pymtech playthrough. And just to kind of start this video off, here is my Pymtech team. All of them are at least 5 stars at this point. Obviously, Ant-Man and Wasp are 7, and but yeah, anyway, so starting things off, just kind of going in with the kind of required, or at least what I recommend for their T4s. Now, some of them are going to be more for the team, and then other ones are going to be a little bit more kind of Dark Dimension specific. So looking in here, I'm going to start off with Stature. Stature's ultimate is definitely T4 worthy. Being able to generate those 2 extra abilities certainly kind of keeps Ghost and Yellow Jacket in particular really kind of going, but then it also keeps Stature going because she's able to taunt a little bit more frequently, as well as her ultimate is able to go off a little bit more frequently as well. Second on that list is going to be the Stature Stomp, so her special, and just really you want that, you want the ability to now only cost 3 energy versus 4, is really kind of the big appeal to this. You know, the boosted damage certainly helps a little bit, but really you're looking for it to cost 3 energy. Lastly, on Stature, and this is more of a Dark Dimension kind of required T4. So if you're planning to take them to Dark Dimension, either 3, 4, 2 even, these are kind of T4s that are very Dark Dimension specific. So first in there, it's adding 20% for her focus to her and all her Pymtech allies. Also in Dark Dimension, they're getting an additional 10% max health for Pym and Tech allies. And so, just in total, it boosts the focus up to 50%. So it's at 30 prior to this. And in Dark Dimension, it actually boosts all of their health by 20%. Next on the list is going to be Ant-Man, and he is pretty easy. Really, the only thing in here that is kind of T4 worthy, and it's also still just for Dark Dimension, is going to be his passive. And basically, you're adding an extra 10%, well, in this case, you're adding an extra 20% to assist on Pymtech allies in Dark Dimension on spawn. And so basically, you've got a 60% chance to apply assist. So basically, every turn, Ant-Man is pretty much assisting. If he doesn't assist, it's going to be Yellow Jacket. And then also in Dark Dimension, 4 or more characters, and he applies Evade to all of the Pymtech allies. So definitely kind of avoiding them from getting hit. Next on the list is going to be Wasp. Again, her T4 is her passive, and again, this is only needed for Dark Dimension. And these are the only 3 Dark Dimension 4 passives that are really just kind of Dark Dimension 4 worthy. So essentially Stature's passive, Ant-Man's passive, and Wasp's passive really kind of boost their viability in Dark Dimension. So she's getting a 5% dodge chance, and then she also applies immunity for 2 turns instead of for 1. So basically she's got a 25% dodge chance, and then in Dark Dimension on spawn, if there are 4 or more Pymtech allies, which there always are, she's going to apply immunity for 2 turns instead of just 1. Next on the list is Yellow Jacket, and so first off, his ultimate is definitely kind of in there for just the Pymtech team in general. Now, this isn't listed as a necessary T4 for Dark Dimension, but it certainly helped, I think, with Dark Dimension 3 in particular. And really what this does is his health drain rather goes from a flat 20% to a 30%. So he is one of the few characters that has percentage-based damage, and if you can boost that, it's certainly going to help you in Dark Dimension. And then also, I mean, mind you, you get this effect at level 3, but in Dark Dimension, they prolonged all positive effects on this character by a duration of 1 up to a maximum of 4. Next on the list is Ghost, and again, Ghost is her abilities that I have T4'd are just really kind of recommended to get the team going, and that's really all I've done on her so far. So Quantum Entanglement, on turn, she always gains Evade, and if an allied Pimtech character dodges, you heal that ally for 15% of this character's math health, and then she gains a 25% dodge chance and then a 100% chance to counterattack. So anytime Ghost gets hit, she's going to counter, and her counter is actually going to lower the enemy's speed bar. In Dark Dimension, on allied Pimtech dodge, instead, she heals all Pimtech allies for 15% of this character's math health. So the cool thing about that is anytime any of the characters are dodging, she is healing everyone for 15%. And then if this character has 3 or more Pimtech allies, when an enemy gains a positive effect, she's got a 75% chance to steal that effect and apply it to a random Pimtech ally. And on an Pimtech ally's turn, apply Evade to that ally. So basically, every time a Pimtech ally is going, she is applying Evade to them. On an enemy's turn, apply offense down to that enemy and gain 10% speed, and then Pimtech allies gain additional 10% speed. So that's just kind of the T4s I've got going for them. Quantum Explosion is the other one, and the reason that is T4'd is just for the additional health steal, bringing the health steal up to 15%. Anyway, so that is the team's T4s. We will go in now and do a Dark Dimension fight. And so right now I am on the second node of the unrestricted kind of nodes. And the unrestricted nodes, I mean, they're a little bit on the easier side. And then especially the first 2 nodes of any of the kind of Dark Dimension campaigns are always the easiest. So, you know, the first 2 nodes of Unrestricted, first 2 nodes of Global, and that is crazy unfortunate that our Ghost got deleted. So let's actually end this fight. That's just kind of some bad RNG on that end. We'll go back in. And hopefully she shouldn't get deleted like that. You know, if something like that happens, you are certainly able to quit the fight and kind of go back in. That's kind of one of the cool things about Dark Dimension. And again, that friggin' Captain Marvel is kind of just deleting everyone. Not too sure why that is not being evaded. That might actually be part of Captain Marvel's kind of abilities. So let me kind of go in here real fast. I just want to see if that's an unavoidable attack. So as we go in, okay, this attack cannot be dodged and crit. So that's why things are getting deleted. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and I am going to kind of do a faux launch, and we're just going to go in with like any character. And this is kind of just the nature of Dark Dimension 3, where, you know, those deletes kind of can happen. So we'll go in with Ultron, we'll let him get deleted real fast, and then I should be able to kind of go through with a normal set of attacks. So we'll let her delete Ultron. And sadly, I mean, you know, this is part of the reason why a lot of people find Dark Dimension 3 incredibly annoying, is for reasons like that. So let's kind of go in now, and we'll go in, and hopefully this should go a lot smoother now that Captain Marvel has done her ultimate and she can't delete anyone. And that's just kind of one of those unfortunate things where it's an attack that can't be dodged. And, you know, the one fault of Pimtech is they are not this crazy health team. So there's not a lot of health on them. But as we're going in, so she is, in theory, if people were damaged, she would have gone in and healed. So let's kind of work on Captain Marvel. I don't want her doing her ultimate again. And really kind of where this team is effective is the fact that they are gaining dodge a lot. So they shouldn't be getting hit. And when we are dodging, we are also kind of getting healed from Ghost. I slowed it down just to 2% just for a little bit. I just wanted to kind of show off some of the healing as well as just like some of the mechanics that go a little bit too quickly. So as we're going in, so you just saw that. So because Ghost happened to dodge her attack, she healed everyone for 15%. So this team does have a lot of sustain in the Dark Dimension campaigns, and that is going to be, primarily because of the way Ghost functions. They also have a lot of control, which is kind of one of the appeals of this team. So if you do kind of negatively put a negative status effect on someone, there is a lot of opportunity to make it so that kind of character really never attacks again. So we'll go in, we will stun Jessica Jones, and then we will kind of go in and just attack her. And so basically, in theory, like, she should actually never get unstunned if I kind of have planned this right. We do have to worry about Captain America and his taunt. So, I mean, you do have to worry about taunted characters. And, that can be kind of a bit on the annoying side. So we weren't able to keep Jessica Jones stun locked because of the taunt. But if the taunt wasn't there, we should have been able to kind of keep her stunned. We'll go in, we'll get rid of Jessica Jones just because she has that, annoying, she's a battery, plus she can eliminate debuffs, and we don't really want that kind of going around. I'm going to up us back up to 3 just to kind of keep the fight going. I don't want this to take too long. Now, my concern here now is I don't want that Captain Marvel to ult, and she is getting dangerously close to being able to do that, and I was not able to stun lock her, mainly because the taunts that are kind of on the field, so that is something to kind of worry about. Pymtech does have the ability to get rid of taunts, but it is kind of a luck of the draw on that end because it's not always a guaranteed. So nodes like this are going to be a little bit of a problem. They might not necessarily be one-shots because of the Captain Marvel factor on these particular nodes. But I think, once Captain Marvel gets her ult off, it does become a pretty easy node. However, without Ghost, the team does kind of lose a lot of its sustainability. So you might not necessarily be able to one-shot all of the nodes, but I definitely think you might be able to two-shot or maybe three-shot. And that's just, again, kind of the nature of the way Dark Dimension 3 sadly is structured, is you've got situations like that. So kind of going in, we'll finish up this fight. I'm running a little bit short on time as far as, upload times. So I'm trying to keep this video under 15 minutes just for YouTube purposes. So we'll go in, we'll finish the fight, and then any additional questions, certainly feel free to, reach out to me on Discord or in-game if you want anything kind of clarified. But kind of just the final take on this, I would say, as far as Pymtech, they were able to one-shot the first node, and then I would think definitely they might be able to two-shot this node. And it's just really because you have any character that's going to create a situation that is basically undodgeable is going to be really dangerous for Pymtech. So in fights like this, definitely, I think I would probably, focus down the tanks and then, focus on the Captain Marvels. And part of that's my own fault. I wasn't really looking at the node to kind of go in. But yeah, so that's just the initial playthrough of Pymtech in Dark Dimension 3. Like I said, Dark Dimension 3 isn't a lot of one-shotting, especially in these unrestricted. And that's because they were designed around Phoenix. But I certainly think they are a viable Dark Dimension 3 team, as well as a Dark Dimension 4 team. Any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord at Khaleesi or in-game at any of the 3 accounts. Please like and subscribe if you did find this video helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week.